Sometimes it starts with kindness, a simple gesture, a helping hand. But what began in a sterile hospital room under fluorescent lights turned into a storm of forbidden emotions and irreversible decisions. I was supposed to heal him, not fall for him. And what happened next, no one could have predicted. I'm Dr. Elena Hayes, 40 years old, married, a mother, a respected physician at one of the top hospitals in the state. For over 15 years I followed protocol, built my reputation and guarded my heart. But nothing in my medical training prepared me for what happened with Caleb. He wasn't just another patient. He became the one who reminded me I was still a woman, with desires, doubts, and deep buried hunger. This is my story. And this is how it began. It was a rainy Thursday when Caleb Rourke was admitted to my care. 34 years old. Severe injuries from a motorcycle accident. Fractured ribs, a dislocated shoulder, and deep lacerations down his right thigh. He was unconscious when they wheeled him in. I examined him, gave orders, and worked with the trauma team late into the night. But when I returned the next morning, he was awake and staring at me with the most intense green eyes I had ever seen. He was polite, quiet, but sharp. Sarcastic when the pain meds weren't clouding his head. He asked about my day. Not in the small talk way patients do, but like he genuinely cared. "I bet you don't get asked that much, huh?" he said. "No," I admitted. "I think doctors need someone to check in on them too." That was the first time I smiled in weeks. Every day I checked his vitals, his healing, his progress, and every day our conversations got deeper. He told me about his childhood, his failed marriage, his love for jazz music, his guilt about surviving when his brother, who was riding pillion, didn't make it. I shared stories I hadn't told anyone, about the strain in my marriage, about feeling invisible, about how my husband Mark had become more like a roommate than a partner. Caleb never judged, never offered solutions, just listened. And I started looking forward to my shifts in a way I hadn't in years. One night I stayed late. He was struggling with pain and couldn't sleep. "I shouldn't be here," I said. "But you are," he whispered. We sat in silence, until he reached for my hand. I should have pulled away, but I didn't. His thumb traced small circles across my knuckles. My heart thundered in my chest. The next morning I told my supervisor I needed to transfer Caleb's case. "Why?" she asked. "Just boundary concerns." She nodded. "Happens. We're human." But I didn't tell her what had happened that night, or how much I wanted to see him again. 3 weeks after his discharge I got an email. "Thank you for everything. Coffee sometime, just as a thank you. Promise." I shouldn't have replied. But I did, and we met at a small cafe on the east side. It was supposed to be 30 minutes. We talked for 3 hours. We started seeing each other regularly, always outside the hospital, always under the radar. And then one night after dinner I walked him to his car. He turned to me. "You've changed my life," he said. "But it's killing me not to kiss you." I didn't say anything. So he kissed me. And I let him. Once that wall broke, everything rushed in. We began sleeping together. Hotels. His apartment. Anywhere far from my world. With him I felt alive again. Touched. Worshipped. But every time I returned home, Mark would be sitting on the couch watching TV. Same chair. Same beer. Same silence. And I hated myself. I became two people. Dr. Hayes during the day, collected, professional, admired. And Elena by night, reckless, hungry, deceitful. Caleb gave me passion. But he also gave me guilt. I knew it couldn't last. But I didn't want it to end. One morning Mark asked, "Are you seeing someone?" I froze. "No," I lied. He stared at me. "You come home smelling like someone else." I walked away. But that night Caleb asked, "Are you okay living like this?" And for the first time I said no. I confessed everything to Mark. The affair. The feelings. Figuth. He didn't yell. Didn't cry. Just nodded. Then you should go. I moved out that weekend. My kids were confused. My friends judged. Caleb. He held me through it all. We tried to build a life. Together. But it was hard. Not because we didn't love each other, but because our story began with betrayal. Some nights I woke up crying, missing my old life, hating myself for destroying it. But other nights, I felt peace. And for the first time in years I dreamed. Love born in secret is still love. But it comes with shadows. Caleb taught me to feel again, to want again, to live again. But he also reminded me that everything comes with a cost. And sometimes the bill doesn't come due until much later. It's been 2 years. Mark and I co-parent. Civil. Distant. Caleb and I, still together. Not perfect, but real. We don't pretend anymore. We tell the truth. Even when it hurts. Because we learned what happens when you don't. I never thought I'd be the woman who cheated. The doctor who broke the code. The wife who lied. But I was. And from the ashes of that identity I became someone else. Not better. Not worse. Just honest. Because sometimes healing doesn't come from medicine. It comes from breaking. And then choosing who you want to be next. If this story touched something in you, don't just scroll past. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What would you have done? Subscribe to Veiled Desires for more raw, true stories about human connection, imperfection, and the secrets we all carry. Hit the bell so you never miss a story that reflects the real you. Share this with someone who's been where you've been. Sometimes the most painful truths lead us to the most honest versions of ourselves.